coming to you live from the land of chlamydia-ridden koalas. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 235th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. As every fucking week, I'm Log Power Slave, joined by a slightly more bearded Marlon Games this week. It's coming back, kids, and like growing at a rate of knots. Look at this.
It's like, you know how when Goku dies, he comes back stronger?
If your beard comes back and he's stronger, they're going to have to next time they're going to have to cut it with a whippersnipper, honestly. I volunteer. Instead of Danny cutting it, I'll come over and just
Or a hedger.
Oh yeah, no, they're a bit deadly, man. I wouldn't. They're fucking
electric hedger.
Matty has a bigger beard than I don't have. I can't grow a beard to save my life, right? Like if you put me in a room,
you obviously do something with that. You obviously trim that, right?
Yeah, I just cut it. But if it grows really long, it just looks fucked. So yeah. I just kind of half-assed shave.
You got to commit.
All right. Do I commit? I don't know. We might leave it up to chat. That sounds like a fucking terrible idea. How to ruin your face in fucking one step. Let fucking chat decide what you do with it.
Yeah, I've got a montage of that if you want.
Yeah, it's true. I've seen it. Though the handlebar mustache, I was like, yes, I can see. Matt, I feel like that was the most dominant Mylan Games. Whose puppa's that? That's a light brown puppa. That's not Bill.
This is, mate, we've got a funny story about this. This is, get me out. This is Danny's sister's dog, 6 months old Tessa. Who's been an absolute menace.
Oh, right. Okay. At their house. So,
well, they've gone away.
House?
So we're looking after her for.
Okay. Is this her first sleepover at your house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was up at 1 a.m. last night after she did a massive shit in the house and vomited.
Did she vomit at the smell of her own shit?
I think so. I think she was very anxious about. I don't think she's ever been away.
It's a big change. It's a big change. You can't just expect dogs to, I don't know. I mean, when you think about a dog's whole fucking universe, right? Like if you think about my dog Titus, because he's not super well socialized, so he goes for walks, but 99.9% of his life is lived in our yard. You take them out of that entirely, it's like transplanting someone to another country, but with no context.
And Billy's like 8 now, or 7 or 8, and she doesn't really have time for puppies. Like she'll play a little bit, but then she's like, okay, I'm done now. And Tessa just doesn't have an off switch.
Yeah, right.
And so Billy's like full on snarling, teeth bared, like saying, leave me alone. And Tessa's like, are we playing? So she's sort of learning when to not fucking play. So if I run off, it's probably because she's being told off.
Yeah, Bill, yeah, righto. Okay. Well, imminent dog violence on the fucking stream today. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. How's your week been, Cobber? What have you been up to?
Well, it's been a quiet week on the content front. I released a video saying taking a couple weeks off because of the PhD. Oh, this fucking PhD. I mean, you're sick of me talking about the fucking PhD. Do you remember? Do you remember when
like 2 years ago I was like, I just got to do this and it'll be done. Right, you do it, Matt. And now it's Do
you remember when I had to drive an hour and a half every morning and did we still do the podcast on Saturday when I was doing data collection?
Yeah, we did, but we did it heaps later, or we were doing it Friday nights or Sundays or whenever we could.
I did, I don't know, 13 or 16 weeks of data collection in regional WA, driving an hour and a half. every Saturday morning
Yeah,
to get there, and an hour and a half every Saturday morning to get back home.
I think you've done the hard yards. They should just give it to you on merit at this point.
Well, the funny thing is, like, yeah, I sent a big email to my supervision team just saying how frustrated I am. It's like, yeah, you get all this feedback. Yeah, it could be better. Of course it can be better. Everything can be better.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what else can be
fucking
better? A fucking airline carrier. They could be better,
Like-
but they do the fucking job, don't they?
They squish you in, mate. They just enough to get by, and it's
Exactly,
like,
and
yeah.
they fly and they land, and sometimes it goes wrong, but
It's
Pretty bad example.
honestly like it's academic hazing, and everyone just thinks that this is what you do. And I think that's the part that I'm at now is like, I don't want to be part of the system. I don't want to be part of like,
someone's bullshit.
why would
ego
I
flex.
why would I ever put someone through this? Like, when you do a PhD, it's meant to be your introduction into the academic world. This is not what it does. It makes you never want to do academia ever again because it's so pompous and bullshit.
Do you think it's one of those systems though that like people are so fucking bastardized by it that by the time they're on the other side of the fence, they're like, you little cunts, suffer, like fucking
Yeah, a little
like
bit.
they give it back. That's fucked. No one needs that shit.
Well, just, the irony is you're meant to be a researcher. You're meant to question everything. You're meant to challenge things. You're meant to challenge the status quo. And everyone just goes with like, nah, this is how it's done. Like, why? Why do you want to see, like, there's a point where it's no longer just learning.
Yeah,
There's a point where I'm no longer learning.
There's a point
and
where
you're
you are
just being
you are
painful.
being indoctrinated into something by force.
Yeah.
No, these are the steps that you've got to jump up. This is how you've got to do it. These are the ropes, and you'll do it or you won't. Yeah, I feel for you, man. I'm hoping that this is like
I've cut way back on streaming, which sort of sucks actually because we were going really well.
No,
So I'm going to do
I don't think
2 hours streaming, and
I don't necessarily
and
think it's something that
videos.
won't come back. Like it's just that it's, you get this shit out of the way, then you don't ever have to do it again. Like manage to knock it on the head and get past it, and then you can just stream for forever, baby, and not worry about it, or at least until your mental health fucking dictates otherwise.
Oh, mate. Streaming is going to be a walk in the park after getting through this.
Honestly, I'll say this: you're the happiest I've seen you in the entire time I've known you. I think, like when you were just focused on the one thing, because you've never not been sort of split, and I think that like the sky's the limit, really. And I don't say that as a like a fan. I say it as a friend. Because I'm not your fan. I'm your friend.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
there was like a couple weeks where I had been told I'd passed and I wasn't thinking about revisions, and it was just like
Easy mode
you could
life.
you could see the night and day. And like streaming is one of those things is like if you're thinking about other stuff, it's going to reflect in your attitudes, and fucking Twitch chat's just a big sponge, man. Internet just picks up on vibes, and if you're not having a good time and you're cranky, then chat gets cranky, and then you end up in this fucking cranky
That's
cycle.
why I have such a cranky chat, because I'm cranky all the time.
Could be.
Maybe it's like a fucking very unpleasant text-based mirror.
It's a text-based mirror. It is.
Why are you all so negative? Because you are, you fucking idiot.
I mean, but also I got my PC parts, mate, this week.
I've been waiting for this. So you haven't done anything yet? You're gonna stream building it?
Yeah, it's going to be the reward.
Yeah,
when I finish
this is the thing. Because if anything
reward.
goes wrong, you need to be able to monetize that and make a clip of it and make it, set it to like Matt fries his fucking video card. I know this is a bit morbid, me talking about it before you've done it, and I don't want to put undue pressure on you, but if it all goes to shit, I want the moment that you do the wrong thing, and I want like my heart will go on behind it. Like
so
that's where I'm at. That's what I'm here for. Bad friend.
I watched the Verge PC build stream.
Yep.
And I watched Linus Tech Tips respond to like XQC's fucking build. And I'm just like, oh dude, this is like looking into the future. This is me. I'm like trying to explain the chat. Yeah, it goes here, right? You fucking, it's like, No.
Oh, you're
Dash
gonna have to. You're gonna
backwards.
have to get Etz. I know Etz is watching at the moment, but you're gonna have to get him on the fucking the command line in your headset, talking to you through it. Like basically, this is how you were making cocktails and Jugsy would talk you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same thing, but with building a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Like, trust me, I've sat uselessly by while Etz built computers in front of me. It'll go fine. He's a wizard.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get Eds in the call, and I think I'm gonna get like my brother as like an actual person next to me, just to confirm.
Support person.
Yeah, support person. That's just like when Eds goes. Oh, all you gotta do is put the XCZZ do 2000 EP into the.
Nah, he won't do that.
Socket.
He won't do that.
Nah,
he won't do that.
Nah, Eds is pretty good actually.
Yeah, he'll break it down to layman's terms. See that big red thing? Yeah, plug it into the other red thing.
Yeah.
Just make
like
sure it's the
Legos.
right way up. If you've got to push really hard, it's probably wrong.
Oh, that's what makes me nervous. Then
When you got to seat things into the motherboard, yeah, that's the part I don't like. I'm not for it.
Especially I feel like it's
like,
gonna go "What?" and then like snap the fucking.
Like that's the scary thing was I was watching Etz do it, and he's like it looked like his whole body weight into it, and he's like 600-700 feet tall, so like he's a large fucking man just in there. I'm like, man, I'd have to like jump on it, being a little hobbit that I am. Maybe you'll have to as well. Get the whole village to hop on it, Matty. Is this going to be Chris? Oh, no, Chris was at fucking jiu-jitsu with you, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it won't be a Chris reveal on stream. Not that Chris gives a shit about any of this. He's just
No, he has been on stream before, so but he enjoys it, I think. Well, we'll find out.
show pony.
Yeah, it'll be the cameraman. No, not the stream. He enjoys the PC building.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's engineer. He should be. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So what else happened? Nothing else. So when are you planning that?
Well, I gave the PhD deadline 2 weeks to finish, so probably 2 weeks from Monday.
Oh, dude. What an alien. Imagine sitting on brand new computer parts for 2 weeks. That's a level of restraint.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You'll kill the rest of us before you, like, one of us will break and drive to your house.
But also, like, I got to rearrange. There's a lot of other stuff. Like, I got to rearrange this fucking room to figure out how I'm going to fit 2 PCs in here now. And
They're not that big, mate.
all the cables and that.
You'll figure it out.
It's the cables.
You just
It's
put
the
them right
cables.
next to each other. Right next to each
There's
other.
no more room on my desk.
We'll put it on
I
the
don't want them
ground.
on the floor.
You've got wood floors. You've got hardwood floors.
I don't want them on the floor
Why?
because of the dog hair dust.
Yeah, but I've got mine on the floor and it's carpeted and they're full of dust and probably about to explode. But if you got
but
hardwood
yours probably
floors,
looks like fucking. Yours could feature on a deep clean series on one of those channels where they take out the
Hoarders.
fucking fan and it's like.
no, it's not that bad. But I am looking like under the desk right now and I'm trying to instinctively keep my feet away from it because there might be something dangerous lurking in there. Like a face hugger or something.
Yeah, that's my week. What's your week about?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't done all that much. What I have done is just I've been smashing New World. I've been into that. But
I fucking know that.
yeah, I mean, like, nobody's business. It's shit on, so I'm bad at streaming it. Like, because there's no logical break in it. Like, where at the end of every control game, I have to sit there and look at chat for 3 or 4 minutes or whatever. I don't have the self-control. So I think that, like, in that way, it's making me a better streamer by being a worse one in the short term.
Yeah, but hold on.
Yes.
New World is like 90% running. Why aren't you fucking looking at chat when you're just running to your next objective?
Because I'm watching where I'm going. You never taught that as a child?
You can definitely multitask on running and reading chats. You
No,
pleb.
I know I do, and I need to. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's a very different game to Destiny, and it's kind of for the viewer anyway. pretty boring unless you're doing something fucking exciting. So I don't know.
I don't think it's great to watch. In fact,
Yeah.
I don't think many MMOs are great to watch unless you play them and you specifically understand what's going on. Otherwise,
Yeah, I don't understand most of what's going on. I just kind of run around and I don't follow the story at all. I just click through the dialogue boxes as quickly as I can because I'm trying to reach the final level, and that's basically
what level you at now?
53 of 60.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's
But
not.
is there
All
a big bump, though,
all my friends are at fucking 60 though. So I'm like, I mean, I think Senshi might be like 59, and Jugs and Sass and Bilk are all at 60. So I'm like we did an expedition in it last night, and I was like, I'm the tank, but I'm the squishiest of all of us. So I'm just kind of running around trying to be not useless for an hour and a bit. I didn't mean like, you're my friend, Fez. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. But the other thing I've been doing, and I had never really dabbled with this before, is just playing Steam games either on a controller or through Steam Link, or like playing on another PC. And I can't get over how low latency it is. Anyway, that's just probably me, and everyone already knew that. But being
What are you playing?
New World, I can play it fine, streamed over the network. So I'm always
to a
playing
laptop or something.
Yeah, just to my little laptop, and so I can, because if I actually run it on the laptop, because it's like a very poorly optimized game, it sounds like there's a fucking Harrier jump jet trying to take off in my living room. So I don't do that. But
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
There you go, Log, trying to keep up with technology, being the fucking boomer that I am. I always get people tell me to shut up in the comments when I call myself a boomer, but like, fucking fuck those people. Anyway, what's happened in Destiny this week? We've got a little bit to talk about. There was I think we entered the traditional Destiny period every season where we've run out of things to do, so we decide to start whinging and complaining and screaming at each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no more story updates for the moment. I already talked about all the lore last week with Festival of the Lost, right? So
Yeah.
we went through that entire book. I'm taking a bit of a break, so I don't really have anything else to lore-wise to chat about. So, we're talking about dungeons.
Dungeon! I don't even know that I really want to talk about dungeons. I just want to mock people for being stingy. That's kind of where I'm at. I know, look. I know that you come at this from a slightly different place to me, and I get it. But also, I can't help but find the whole thing fucking hysterically funny and stupid. So I know that you've had your little talk about this on DCP, and I'm going to make you do it again. Except slightly quicker because you've already done it once. But what's your understanding of it? And why are people so... I mean, the thing that... I'll say this. The thing that I find funniest about it is that it's not even fucking new information. It's shit they told us, at the big Witch Queen reveal. And because there was so many shiny baubles of fucking goodness that happened then, everyone went, and let all the good stuff wash over them, and they didn't worry about this one thing that would come back around 6 weeks later, and they'd be like, oh my God, Bungie, how could you do this? That's what I find.
So, oh, fuck. I really wish I went and found this tweet. Someone went through and put in an Excel spreadsheet the cost of every expansion and season pass and what they include. I don't know if you saw that tweet. Did you see that? And it had if you bought it as a bundle, if you didn't buy it as a bundle, blah, 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 blah. Look, end of the day, and this is from memory, Witch Queen was more, if you Witch Queen was, I think $15 more expensive, just the base edition, talking about a raid, a major expansion with a raid, and then you pay for the dungeons on top. So it is a little bit more expensive, the base, compared to previous seasons or previous expansions. And then, of course, there's the additional cost of the dungeons on top of that.
Well,
however, I guess the main point of that was the dungeons do comparably seem like additional content, and so you're paying for additional content. I don't think that is my thoughts on why people are upset is probably much more to do with optics And
Yeah, I think I'll honestly say this. I listened to you talk about it yesterday, and I think that there's definitely room for improvement from Bungie's end in terms of the communication of this stuff. Sorry.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because the funny thing is, like you said, the information was there, but people will revert to their previous experiences. And people's previous experiences is that dungeons are included in expansions.
Yes.
And that is one price you pay, and it's all included in that content. So there's going to be a visceral reaction when they work out, and that's basically what happened. People realize, wait, it's not included. They read the fine print, I guess, and that you have to pay extra for the dungeons. And it doesn't matter if it's, like I said, comparable or if it's close to a similar price. And I think it's hard to make that. Yeah, it's perception, but it's hard to make that challenge because we don't know how much is in Witch Queen, right? Once Witch Queen comes out, I'm like, oh my god, we know that Bungie said they're never making a Forsaken level of content again, but we don't know how happy we're going to be with Witch Queen yet. And if it is light, people are going to be really angry. But if it's not light, people are like, yeah, okay, fair.
I feel like if it's Beyond Light plus 10, 15%, right? Then it's justified. But if we get Beyond Light again, and I don't mean that in terms of the story, I mean that in terms of like, remember when Beyond Light came out and everyone went, this is great, but there's no fucking guns to care about at all. And then they urgently went into reissuing old guns and all that sort of shit.
Right.
I feel like more like I would be happier paying more if I knew that there was more stuff, not necessarily missions and shit, right? I feel like that almost is what drives Destiny players. I'm not.
Well,
Witch
Queen should, right?
Yeah,
Witch Queen should.
I mean, we are getting a whole new weapon type with the spear and like
the glaive, and there's legendary missions now, which is sort of basically like a new mode for campaign, weapon crafting, new areas. So I think there's a hard thing with us talking about it because, well, for me especially, it's my job, and I'm 100% going to get value for money, and you're going to get your value for money anyway. So I don't really like the value for money argument because I don't feel like it's relevant, because I think most Destiny players will get the value for money, and I think that it's okay to be upset from the sheer fact of seeing content that's previously been included now not included, the optics of that, and now paying for it. Because I think it makes people concerned is like, well, if this starts, is this going to start a precedent of, okay, community, we're going to give you an extra raid, like we're going to reprize another extra raid, right? Rather than getting one this year, maybe you'll get two, but you're going to have to pay for it. Or like what can be cut into another sellable?
Yeah, I think that this thing feels like a step down a path, right? And where does that path lead? Maybe it leads to Destiny being more modular in terms of like you pay into the parts that you're interested in. Personally, I'd love that so that I could just not buy strikes and have an excuse to never do them ever again. But I think that's people's concern, is that like there's this perception of being a little bit dudded because something that they historically have gotten bundled in is now spun out, and it feels a bit I agree that it doesn't feel right that that's the case, but everyone's argument comes back to we're being ripped off, right? And the reality of it is that you aren't.
Yeah, I think
the instinct to go fucking hang on is right, and I support people in doing that. But the fact that people instantly go from hang on, that's different, to we're being fucking swindled and aggressively screaming about it on Twitter, for me is just that's the comical part. Because like fuck, if the price of a Destiny expansion went up $30, it would still be the cheapest and most fucking economical form of entertainment in my life. And I play less than every professional streamer that you know, and I probably play less than most people that you know, because I play like maybe 8 hours a week, if that,
Yeah,
Tops.
but I think it's more than that. And like I said, it's firstly it's the expectation. Secondly, it's the thought of setting precedent. And to be honest, we've seen this with the Bungie store, right? We've seen this with Eververse. Like
Yeah, you're right.
everybody was not happy with how Eververse is, and still are not happy. But it just chugs on forwards, and eventually people just stop complaining about it. And it still has the best looking shit in the game that you basically pay for. And no one wanted to go down that path. And I think a lot of people gave up that fight. They're like, you know what? Bungie's left Activision, and they gave this example of, oh, you know what? Your purchases for the skin on Whisper of the Worm paid for an exotic mission. Everyone's like, that's sick. Okay, if it means if I spend money and I get stuff that I want in the Eververse, which funds more content, I'm in.
Yeah, and then like have we seen that used like categorically since? Not really. Like we haven't. There's never been here's this other ornament, and guess what we made out of that? Fucking something else. I think. Look, I think where we're really at, right, is that the cost of making a video game right now,
no,
is fucking immense. Is immense.
It doesn't matter.
I do not think that you can recoup it off sales of just buying the game.
Yeah, but that's the entire world log. That's everyone. It's not our problem.
I'm not saying it's our problem. I'm saying that that's why they are trying to find ways to monetize other things, right? Like if you can, if Destiny costs twice as much.
But that means they have to do twice the work anyway. So they're not like unless they're making dungeons shorter and more cost effective. That doesn't work. So unless the dungeons are going to be underwhelming, they're not going to make money back on it because they still have to hire people to do that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like I mean, you look at Bungie now and they're putting people on hand over fist, right? Things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and by a factor at which the price of the base game is not increasing, right? So there has to be somewhere they're making this money. Yeah, but it's like Bungie's doubled in size over the last 2 or 3 years, right? Has the cost of everything doubled? Like, and I know that this is a crude extrapolation, right? And I know that like that is what it is. I'm just trying to quantify the fact that like for us, a game is about $100, right? And it's been that way for a long fucking time. But games take more people with more skills, with more fucking, more of everything than they used to. Like I paid fucking $60 for COD 1 fucking half a decade ago, and like is the cost.
I don't agree, and I think we don't have enough stats on it, and I don't think Bungie. I don't think Bungie's like scraping by.
I'm not implying that they are. I mean, they wouldn't be employing people at the rate they are if they were. So, but I'm more leaning into like, is that the driver of such aggressive microtransactions, or is it just simply that they know people will pay for it?
No, I think. I mean, I don't know. I do think the slight increase was likely due to the pandemic. But here's the thing. Lots of businesses either went under or made losses because of the pandemic. Bungie chooses to pass on their losses to the consumer.
Yeah, like any business that stays in business does.
It's true. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, it's not my job to think about Bungie's budget.
True. No, and I'm not saying that we should. I'm not saying that like we need to be. I mean, Bungie are a large corporation, right? And as much as there's lots of people work there that I know and think are great people and all that sort of stuff, I'm not ever saying that you should value a corporation's needs over your own, because that is fucked. Okay, so if they're, it is their business to make money out of selling you Destiny. Right? All I was trying to posit with that example was the fact that, like, was that driving the increase in microtransactions or spinning out content to make it more ancillary in terms of like, okay, well, if you want the dungeons pack, here's the dungeons, right? Is that the prelude to what, you know, is it the cause of the symptoms that we're seeing now and the way they're breaking up stuff, right? That was it.
Yeah. I think they'd probably make a fucking mint of Eververse.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, when you compare the cost of making an armor, what, you know, my assumed cost of making the dinosaur armor compared to making a new dungeon, and comparably, the packs will cost the same, nearly, right? Where's the money made? It's, you know, but I mean, all businesses do have products like that. You know, there are always products sold at cost at large volume, and then, you know, the money makers that aren't quite at that point. And I think that Eververse is very much that. Eververse is the cream on top, not the core of the game.
So back to, I guess, paying for dungeons.
Yep.
I do think that experience with Eververse adds to a feeling of, you know, that they're saying, we're happy for you to make money, but do you have to make all the money?
Yeah.
And I think you put on top of that Destiny Content Vault, which I still think is
it's the elephant in the room with this, with everything. Like, we're going to put the price up, and also in 18 months you're not going to be able to play it at all anyway. So, fuck you.
And I'm not as concerned for people who buy it on release. I'm concerned that these two dungeons are going to sit outside of Witch Queen expansion and the seasonal pass base. You buy them as add-ons, okay? So we're considering them like add-ons. So let's say you get 6 months down the road and people purchase the dungeons. How long do they get access to them for? Let's say you get 1 year down the road and we get new players in. How long do they have access to them? I think that information needs to be when you buy it on Steam or your platform at a minimum guarantee. You know, so let's say the dungeon came out today is what, the 23rd of October. It will say, we guarantee that this dungeon will be available until the 23rd of October, 2022. That's a year. So it doesn't matter when you buy it, you'll see a little thing that says this will be at least available, but they're not going to, I just can't see them doing that because it will scare away people who are going to purchase it. So it's much easier to be vague. Be like, lol, it's in the terms of service. Lol, it's in the TWAB, which you're not going to, when have you ever gone to buy a game on Steam and read their TWAB? Gone to the developers fucking Twitter and read, and you don't do that.
Yeah, you're right. You don't. And I think, yeah, it would take some extraordinary measure of borderline generosity to circumvent that. Like if the price deprecated on how close it was to the content being spun out of the game, or something like that. Some fucking, like, I mean, they're not going to do that. So you could pay full price a week before this gets vaulted and just get fucked.
Well, yeah, you can still go buy Forsaken, right? And there's no warning on Steam saying it's going to be free in December and it's going to be vaulted in Feb, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, maybe that's where they really need to up their game in the communicate. I mean, look, Bungie did a pretty good job of communicating.
I definitely acknowledge
not on this front.
That the issues with that is they don't know what's going to. I don't think they know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, because
I don't think they.
Because
I
of the
don't think they have a
nature of it all. It's like, okay, well, we're putting this in. What are we taking out? Like, that's, at least it feels that way. It feels very like I don't know that there is a plan that's bigger than the scope of the retirement of things at the moment, right? Like, I wouldn't have thought Presage or whatever the fuck it is was going to get the knock on the head so quick. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess now that they've started to use the content vaults, I would hope that they have maybe a bit more of a schedule for stuff that's going to come in and go out. Or at the very least, to have a minimum requirement. Because I do think that 12 months is probably minimum for a content if you get it on the day of release.
I think, yeah, it'd have to be the bare minimum. I'd have thought like 2 years would have been preferable. but we're definitely not there. Especially if they're going to continue selling at a full price throughout the course of it, which, look, there's sales and shit on all the time. And if you're smart, you can save yourself, the amounts of money we're talking about. And like, that's the other thing that we need to, we're not talking about like fucking life-changing amounts of money either. We're talking about, and I know that that's subjective and all of that sort of stuff, but the difference between the normal edition and the dungeon edition is, not
I sort of disagree, because I think there's lots of, I think one of the things with streaming is I get to meet people from different countries, and you realize that if you're in a developed country, you're sitting
laughing,
fucking
No,
well above the rest of the world. I got people that from places where you got to save up, man, and even if you can apply the logic to when you're a kid, right? You knew the price of a game was going to be $100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You knew how many shifts you had to do. You knew what you need to trade fucking Banjo Kazooie and Perfect Dark, and you get $10 each, and you got fucking 80 pennies. You could plan for it. You knew that the new game was going to cost $100. Now it's like, fuck, man, I don't know how much I need.
Well, you just got to buy the fucking deluxe edition. That's it. Then
you do save. You do save. And you buy
you just have to aim at that every year. But I mean, like, it's a practice that I don't like, in terms of like the sum of the parts being sold for less than the parts themselves. But I understand that it's based to your business, right? It's like the buy 3 get 1 free sort of thing, where you have to spend more to get the saving. I don't like that. But look, I mean, I don't know. Speaking about it from my perspective, I don't have a whole heap of issues with it. But I mean, if anything, I'd like to see a reduction in Eververse. I think I know it's not going to happen, but it's more where my bugbears lie these days than the increasing price of actual missions and stuff like that.
True. I'm probably
the other thing that kind of irks me about this, just while I'm thinking about it, is that like if you use previous dungeons as an example, right? Like, it's not necessarily that the dungeon is behind the paywall, but if there's a gun that is as dominant as Dead Man's Tale that is in a dungeon.
Well, that was his exotic mission. Yeah, but I mean, you needed to do that in Presage, right? And if you didn't have the thing, the access to it, you can't get it. So I think as people doing it to play the dungeon. Vaulted. Yeah, until it's vaulted, I guess. Yeah.
So, and that's what, a year. So if there is a gun that is tied to these activities that is even close to the meta, people are going to be buying it because of that, even if they don't want to run dungeons, right? So I don't know. That's more the part of it that I go, ooh.
And you only get Galley in the dungeon for 30th anniversary?
I don't know. I'm a fool.
Which is why Galley's not going to be strong. If it is, I don't know. Chat's saying yes.
Well, I don't know.
So let's just hypothetically say Galley's becomes a good DPS weapon. Guess what, kids? Better buy the 30th edition.
Yep. Yeah.
Oops, did you already buy the standard Witch Queen because you're trying to save money when you probably should have bought the deluxe edition 30th with the 30th anniversary bundle? Get wrecked.
I mean, yeah, Galley is $35. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's more the core issue than actually paying for the fucking activities, right? Like, when you spin it out, like, what is housed in these activities that, you being unable to access them will. That's what I want to know. Because I mean, if it's game breaking, if there's something as overwhelmingly powerful as Dead Man's Tale living in either of these dungeons, or if Galahorn, for example, is fucking the new DPS king that sort of forces people's hand a little bit, then I don't quite feel so good about it. I mean, I understand why a business would do that, but not necessarily feeling good about it from an end user perspective. I mean, like for me, it doesn't matter. Like I'm signed, sealed, delivered. I'm theoretically debating this sort of stuff for people who are on the fence. I guess is the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I think a long story short, I don't doubt the value for money I will get out of the dungeons and the Witch Queen, and I think most Destiny fans will get their value for money from it. I think it's just PTSD. We're going down the same path we went with Eververse. It's not consistent in the payment model, and things just keep changing, and I feel like Bungie should have consistency in what you pay.
I just want Destiny to be on a subscription model. I know that I'll probably shit people off saying that, and people will be like, meh, fucking fuck you, that's the last thing we want. But I honestly think
it is a subscription model. It is a subscription model.
That's what I mean.
Now.
It is a subscription model because you're just paying for it in a lump sum instead of monthly, right?
Well, the thing is, this is the thing. With you saying you want a subscription model, all you're asking for is to just know exactly how much you need to pay each month.
Yes.
So you're really just asking for consistency in paying.
Yes. And to know what I need to do, right, each month rather than it, fucking end up in situations like this. If you pay this much every month, that's, 10 coffees worth of monies, whatever, you are going to be sweet for forever. And that's all you need to worry about. I would, if Destiny announced a subscription model tomorrow, be fucking straight on it. No fucking bones. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and then there'd be other people. I'm sure that there's arguments against it. So whatever. I just think that having my experience with that sort of stuff in the past with the Old Republic and the like was not necessarily a negative one. So yeah.
You see the updated terms of service today?
Bungie did.
Yep. Did you log in the game?
What? No,
you log in the game?
I haven't logged in the game.
New term of service. It's basically a big reminder that you do not own Destiny. We are not selling you the game. You are buying a license to play it, and we can do whatever we want.
I mean, that's always been the case. It's just.
I mean, that's every
it does feel
like.
Yeah, I mean, it is every game. It's fucking Anthem, right?
But
buy the game.
Thing, right?
Oh, we don't even support it anymore. Get fucked.
But here's the thing. The fact that they re-updated that, it makes you wonder. I wonder what was in the fucking last one that they felt like they needed to update this.
Maybe it's just a matter of them wanting to remind everyone. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a very positive PR exercise to slug everyone with that after the week that they've had.
I doubt you're updating fucking contract terms of service just because you wanted to remind somebody.
Is there anyone that does that kind of granular shit? I mean, look, we've got people poring over data mine garbage on Reddit. Can we get someone who actually reads the fucking terms of service and compares in them what's different? Does that person exist? Can you direct me to them on Twitter? I'd like to know, just for the sake of my own interest. Not that I'm concerned. I just want to know because I'm not reading that shit.
That
no one's reading that shit.
That game attorney or whatever. The
gamer attorney
that looks at all. Yeah. Get him on
it. But look, I'll put my bullet point on it, and then we'll move on because this is just such a fucking messy, opaque fucking thing to try and discuss, and everyone's perception on monetary value is different. And I need to remind myself a little bit sometimes to respect that a little bit more because for me, this is a no-brainer for the most part. I just pay it and I'll not think twice about it. And I'm happy to support it because it's, I'm in a comfortable position in my life. So I can do that. But if you're not in that space and you are frustrated by the ever-changing sort of optics of it, at the very least, I understand. But I think that if for 99% of people who are rusted on Destiny fans, they'll get their value out of it irrespective.
Yeah.
That fair?
Yeah. That's fair. I brought you back from the edge.
No, look, I need to forget sometimes that I'm not a Sith, right?
I tempered your Sith rage.
I like dealing in absolutes, right? Like, I simplify things for myself by doing that. And I go, well, I get my value out of it. So if you're playing it like me, you'll get your value out of it. So fuck off. But realistically, I think I do really think that we need to focus on this. And I know that it's a hard thing to focus on, but we do always find some fucking controversy in the middle of a season to get angry about. There's always some fucking thing. And this is shit that we've known about for 6 weeks, but not bothered paying attention to until Cosmo reminded people, right? Like, that's the issue. Now all of the fucking games journalists are, shit, hot breaking story from 6 weeks ago that we missed. I think, like, that's the part of it that annoys me more than anything.
Well, this is just comes back to the optics of it. So I think Skill Up had a great tweet, and he's like, it's really upsetting to see people who aren't Destiny players. The only time they hear about Destiny
is when
shit like this happens.
It's like, oh, they're taking content out of the game in Destiny, and you hear all the MMO players go, "I've been playing WoW for 7 million years, and they've never taken anything out of that. Fuck Destiny." And you go like, look, don't worry about Destiny, man. If you've been playing WoW for 17 years, you've got fucking far bigger issues than worrying about what's going on in Destiny. It's not for you anyway. But, you know, like, it does frustrate me because, like, I've even had conversations with mates that are outside of the Destiny sphere of my life. And they're like, what the fuck's going on with that? Specifically with the content vault. Like, a couple of my mates were like, oh, I mean, like, what are they taking out? And I'm like, you know, all the shit we played when the game launched? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's not in the game anymore. They're like, well, what's the fucking game? I'm like, it's all this other shit. It's like moved on. The game's moved on. It's like catching up on a TV series, you know? And they're like, well, but what if we want to watch it all? I'm like,
I mean, that's my last thing is how people oh, my fucking story. The story is so good now. It's such a huge barrier to get into the story of Destiny. I don't even know what to tell, but
it's like jumping into season 4 of The Expanse without seeing the first 3 seasons, and you would just be like, "What the fuck?" Like, what? Yeah.
Like, right now, I would probably recommend people to actually start with Season of Splicer, Season of Lost, and then Witch Queen, because it's actually, like, quite consistent.
There's a big lead in.
Right?
Yeah. But I think and you did say this yesterday, that the seasons that follow a big release are less like sequel and more prequel to like, you look at everything that's happened this year, it's leading into the Witch Queen after the sort of crescendo of last year's story, which was Beyond Light. Like, it's kind of ass backwards in a way, at least. And like, anyone coming, oh, Witch Queen looks great, I want to jump in, I'm really interested in that, and they're holding off, right? They would be getting heaps of context out of like watching this now and enjoying it. So I don't know that there's an answer. It's kind of just like, well, you just got to play it every 3 months. You know what the answer is?
I've just thought of this big, thick brain right now.
Here we go.
They need to grab those ink blot cutscenes, and they need to add in a Destinypedia into the game. Whereas if you're new, you just click on Fallen. You're like, what's the deal here? And it's just fucking 60 seconds, 2 minutes. Just a quick recap of what the Fallen are, the Hive, the Cabal, the main enemies. And then maybe a 60, there's a lot of work, a 60-second recap. You know, when you go on the director and you see the expansions, you just click on them and it tells you what's happened.
What if, and hear me out, if you pre-order Witch Queen, you can access all of the seasonal stuff for 1 month before Witch Queen drops, so that you could go through and do all the story parts.
Honestly,
would people do it?
I don't even know how much of the story is worth playing in game until you get to season of, like, most recently.
Splicer's okay. Like, there's
something Splicer. Yeah, like Splicer Lost. Good.
Yeah, even Chosen, like, to understand Keitel, Chosen.
Chosen
like,
was good too.
If you played through all the weekly stuff, right, and you could do it back to back and just knock it over in a few months, in a few sessions, right? That maybe they're truncated versions. I don't know, whatever. But I feel like playing through it would be a great lead in into it. Because, I mean, that's ultimately what we're talking about here. I think, like, Destiny is just at a point where it is so its own thing and it's become semi-ungovernable in a way where, like, the perceptions of it and how to, you know, it's evolving at a rate that I don't think any of us really anticipated. I mean, at least I didn't see us getting to a point where it became more or less fucking a TV show that runs every 3 months. There's a new season and working through it, and it's like this ever-evolving story. If you told me this would be where we'd end up when I jumped onto Destiny in 2014, I probably wouldn't have I even understood it, let alone believed it. But here we are.
Yeah, chat saying there's a timeline in the director. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is you go on the
flash that
timeline.
shit out. What if you could select each thing and it gave you one mission from each season or something, and it gave you the context?
Not even a mission. Just give me a fucking cutscene.
I know you want fucking cutscenes, but you know what the game is? The game is the fucking game, not the fucking cutscenes.
No one cares. They get in and they just go to pews and they shoots and give me the loot. Give them a cutscene.
True. 20-minute cutscene, big cinematic. What about that? Just like a half-hour cutscene leading into fucking each season that recaps everything. I'd sit there with me popcorn and watch it.
Listen here.
Yes.
We know that the Destiny community has been the most engaged through those cutscenes. The Saint 14 Monster is probably the best example of the community talking about the story. The community don't go, oh, how cool was it when I used my time lost fate bringer on that guy's head? No, they're like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, think back to the season of the fucking Sundial or whatever it was. What's the one thing you remember from that? It's Saint headbutting the fucking thing. Yeah. It's not any of the activities or anything. You know, like I get it. But I mean, at least then you can say, hey, you can jump in and play bits of the game from that, you know, like play the game to lead you into playing more of the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and dumb and old fashioned. I don't read this shit anyway. You tell me all the lore stuff, so what the fuck would I know? Subscribe to Mylan Games. It'll pop up. Or subscribe to My Name is Bife to understand what the fuck's going on in this game.
Subscribe to mine to be yelled at.
Oh, all right. Well,
there you go.
That's it.
We've solved the world's problems.
We've solved the world's problems. Coming up next week on the Destiny Down Under podcast, we'll be solving anti-vaxxers and world hunger. All right, I'm going to open chat up. If you've got anything fucking stupidly contentious that you'd like us to half-assedly discuss, please do so now. Oh man, did we even make any ground on anything at all? No, not really.
Yeah, that was meant to be better than DCP recap, but it just ended up me yelling at you yelling at me.
I mean, I think it's on brand, if nothing else.
Hey, I played a couple games of Freelance Trials.
How'd they go? Look, I'm umming and ahhing about whether I want to experience it at all. I'm not super...
Honestly, it feels good.
Does it feel good because you are you're hovering around your flow state?
It feels good because, you know, the coordinated sweaty trials team with the coordinated push, the sit back, get a pig, rush, fucking bounce off the fucking roofs, shit a dive, and everyone's dead. You don't get that as much. It's just a little bit more chaotic. Everyone's just doing their own thing. And it feels more enjoyable.
I can say, and like that in itself is like playing against a lower skilled 3-stack, right? Like it's kind of that, because I mean, playing against really good 3-stacks is not necessarily that they're incredible shots or anything like that. It's just the teamwork. So taking that out of it, I get that, and I think that's. I don't know. It was interesting that Bungie added the double XP thing. I think they're just trying to get a large body of players in to really test the fences on it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
and it's a small map, so it's pretty action packed.
Cauldron.
It's Cauldron, yeah.
I wish they'd do the fucking no radar jump scares thing on Cauldron again for season of the Lost. That was fun. I had fun that week. As much as I dislike jump scares, I feel like Trials with no radar is a different animal, a very different animal.
Yeah, I think I prefer it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, it removes, that over the top information that people have. Like, it forces you to, interact with what you can actually see.
Invis Hunters completely redundant.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Who cares about that? Fucking who gives a shit? It'd probably make Shadow Dive worse, though, because people just rush with it.
True.
I'm speaking anecdotally about a game mode that I played literally fucking years ago here, so give me a break. All right, let's read some comments. First one from Fez. I would like to put out there that cheesecake is more a tart than cheese or cake. That's actually true. There is not enough cheese in cheesecake. If I order something called cheesecake, it better have a lot of fucking cheese in it. I don't even think there is any cheese in cheesecake. Is there?
I had a cheesecake at my wedding. Not a cheesecake. I had wheels of cheese stacked
Like
on top of each other.
You had tiers of cheese.
I had tiers of cheese. It was a cheesecake.
Do you want to know something weird? I didn't have tiers of cheese. Do you want to know what I had?
A cheesecake?
No, I had a fountain of cheese because I had fondue. Because I thought, fuck a cake. I had 2 cheese and 1 chocolate fondue fountains. Because cutting up a fucking
fat
cake.
Shit, you had cheese fondue?
Yeah, you better believe. You know where they were? Right up near the table I was sitting at. Where are we going to put the fondue fountains? Right there. If I passing the fucking stick down the line of groomsmen to the fondue fountain and back. That was
what? Boy, what did you put in the fondue? What was the things you're dipping?
It's like bread, like the bread thing, and then there was like marshmallow, like a sweet one.
I don't know if I've ever done
a sweet one.
Ever had cheese fondue?
Pretty rad.
Is bread?
Yeah, it was like bready, biscuity sort of thing. Bread. I'm pretty sure it was bread. I'm trying to remember. I had a lot going on that day.
The thing about whenever I've only seen like chocolate fondues, like chocolate fountain sort of things, and when you get kids, they just can't control themselves, can they? You're like, don't put your fucking hands in there. Don't put it. Ah! Just like.
My oldest was not very old at that point. Like she was only 1.5. Or something like that, and they were on a very high table, very far away from anywhere you could go near them. But yeah, yeah, there you go. So you had cheese tiers, and I had a fountain of cheese. So that's we're more or less different format of the same thing. Very good, same.
And the best thing is, because look, we already had a dessert buffet, right? Oof. So people were chockers. And the great thing was, hardly anyone had the cheese because they were so full. So we just ended up with fucking 6 tiers of cheese. Danny and I on our honeymoon just going, oh, feeling sexy. Oh, that's so fucking cheese.
Just sitting there with like a big disc of cheese like you're a small rodent. Just... That sounds like heaven to me. Wouldn't be good on the guts. You'd be feeling pretty shit. Yeah. Fuck, I love cheese.
Yeah, I love cheese too.
I hope not to ever get remarried, but if I ever get remarried, I'm doing that tiered cakes, or maybe for a birthday or something. That's probably more likely. Yeah. My 40th.
Yeah, don't destroy your marriage.
Don't destroy your marriage for cheese. Etz is explaining Milo to.
Dude, Milo's good.
Milo's one of the things as an Australian that I'm most proud of.
I love Milo.
I saw just as a complete anecdote, I saw that someone live streamed himself painting a rendition of Edvard Munch's The Scream out of Vegemite.
Oh my god.
It's fucking good. They've done an incredible job. And I thought, is that not the most Australian way to ruin a classic art piece of all time? Like one of the most widely fucking considered pieces of art. We're going to paint it out of Vegemite.
Vegemite.
All right, what else is going on?
Yeah, Back for Blood. So did you ever get that?
I played it with you. You've asked me this 3 times. I'm not playing it again because the characters just yell at me and I don't like it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you did say that.
You know what I'm trying to keep a lid on? Getting excited for Halo. Because I know that if I start, I'm not going to stop.
Baby.
I'm deliberately trying to, like, if you could give me the option to go into a time capsule for the next 6 weeks and just inject me with my second jab, like, while I'm asleep, right? I would do that so I could get that much closer to
what?
I'm not playing it again. The fucking dialogue from all of the characters is cringeworthy shit, and it annoyed me in the space of 2 hours to the point that I never want to play the game again. I don't need to be nagged at by fucking anyone in the zombie apocalypse, let alone digital characters.
How do you feel about the 30th anniversary
of
coming out the day before Halo Infinite?
I hope it's prepared to look, I'm not that worried about it because I look at my engagement with Festival of the Lost, right? And I go, okay, I've played one night of it so far and I enjoyed it. And I've gone back to doing other things. And I may play another couple of nights of it and that be that. And I think that I'll probably play 30th anniversary at launch, right? I'll be checking that out and then Halo will come out and it'll be like a little prelude to like, hey, here's Destiny and it's born of one of the things you also love, Halo. And guess what? It comes out tomorrow. So I'll just go and check that out for a little bit.
Do you think you'll be able to go into the dungeons straight away in the 30th anniversary, or do you think you'll have to do the power grind?
Well, there's no increase in level again until Witch Queen. So we should be able to do it. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it. Like you go in and knock out a Destiny themed. I'll put it to you this way. Given that it's a Halo themed activity, it would be very, very silly, in my opinion of them, to make us wait to do it. Given
what do you mean a Halo
releasing.
themed? Yeah, that's not been confirmed.
Well, it's a Halo themed event, like the 30th anniversary thing, right? Like you're going to want to get in and do the dungeon. It's the thing that's in the thing, right?
No, they haven't said that it's Halo themed.
No. The event, right?
What event?
The 30th anniversary thing.
I don't think they have the rights to make a Halo themed. I haven't seen that. They're using other things like their previous games, but I don't think they got Halo, did they?
There's things that look like the fucking Needler, Matt. Yeah, I am forgetting about Oni and Marathon because I was a child when they came out and you probably weren't even born. Stop being upset. Chris Barrett's going to come and shiv me, but still.
I think that's all rumors. I think everyone's waiting to see if there's going to be a Halo stuff, right?
I think, yeah. Look,
it's been hinted at.
Yeah, it's a nod, right? It's a nod in the direction of Halo.
Bungie's like, no, we can't afford it. And then they're like, motherfucker, I see you, Eververse. I see you, Dungeons. You fucking pay. You want to hear a license? Here's a fucking license for Master Chief, you cuckaroo.
Yeah, Etsy raises a fair point. I mean, Destiny PC is available on Game Pass. So I think them and Microsoft aren't necessarily on bad terms. Like, that's a pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're on bad terms.
I don't know. Look, it doesn't bother me at all. The 30th anniversary edition does not faze me whatsoever. It doesn't.
Wait, so we're going to do the Dungeon?
Yeah, we'll do
on
that.
Release.
When it comes out, I will do the dungeon. When the dungeon comes out, I'll do the dungeon, and otherwise, I'll probably be playing Halo. That's it.
Are you going to play multiplayer first and wait a little bit for the campaign? Or you just
I've
jump
got no
in the
interest in it. I'm not playing the campaign until it's multiplayer.
Just co-op.
Unless I hear really good things about it and have it spoiled for me, then I'll get angry, play it myself, and then revisit it when it's co-op.
I can't. I'm having a dilemma. I can't decide whether I play the campaign immediately or if I wait a couple days for people to play it and then do it.
I think that would be more in line with your experience playing the Halo games previously.
That's more in line with my experience.
I think Mylan coming to everything Halo related late is probably now a trope that you need to maintain. Because it'll give people time to like you're not in it to like do to do Halo lore or anything like that.
Content. Yeah.
So all you're doing is like just enjoying it, and I'm sure that there'll be no shortage of people wanting to explain the minutiae of it to you as you go through. So I don't know. I think that's great. I'd do that. That's all right. Just yelling at the doggos.
I get nervous when it's a confined space and Billy gets grumpy. Do you know? Like
yeah. No, I don't.
They need to give each other room. You know.
Yep. You got to wait 20 years
maybe I
to
should
enjoy
wait
Halo.
a couple decades before I play Halo Infinite campaign.
Yeah, just wait it out. I think you'll enjoy it more if you don't play it for another, I don't know, 10 years.
Played in my 50s.
Do you think we'll still be doing this shit then, or we'll have killed each other? I don't think that far ahead.
I hope I'm still doing it.
I'm sure.
Otherwise, it means I've got to find another job before I retire.
I probably won't be. I'll find something else.
What's the fucking retirement age? It's like 70 or something, isn't it?
Oh, mate, by the time we get there, it'll be 80. Doesn't matter. The ship sailed for us. My grandparents retired at 50. You know, I'm fucking nearly there. Like, how the fuck did you earn enough money to retire for 40 odd years in 20 years, 30 years?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's inflation. What a motherfucker. All right. Well, let's just quickly scroll back. I think we might be done here. This can be a short episode because there's fuck all going on, and what is going on isn't necessarily.
What else
good.
was in the 12? Was there nothing in the 12?
Oh, I'm scrolling through now.
Who cares?
I mean, I kind of care. It's mainly about flawless fucking freelance trials. Sorry, blah 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 blah. A couple of emblems, some stencils for carving pumpkins. If you do that, don't know why you'd ruin your food, but you know, fill your boots. Some carved pumpkins. There you go. Look at that. No, the one of Aldrin's pretty good. Just looks like an emo kid, really. Just cheer up, emo kid, jack-o'-lantern.
Whisper of the Worm is getting a buff. What's that about?
They haven't actually said that. They kind of alluded to it, I believe. There's whispers of some exotics getting a buff is the for the sentence, I believe. So,
right.
I don't know. I would like to see them do that. I mean, not necessarily whisper, but just get all of the underwhelming exotics and go, now they're better than the other guns. Use them. I feel like it'd be cool.
Well, and I mean, the seasonal mods basically do that, right? Seasonal mods just fucking
to an
slingshot.
Extent. To an extent, right? Like, yeah, like you look at fusions this season and like they're fucking...
Yeah, well, look at 1K and even Sleeper if you're using like div with it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what gun would you most like to see come back to some sort of provenance? Would it be Whisper? Yeah. Like in... Yeah.
Fuck knows.
You know what I want? I want Crimson to not be shit. That's what I want.
Well, it's not shit with the controller.
Yeah, but like I want it to be good on PC because that's where I play, right? So, can we buff it on PC? Not fucking. I don't know.
Oh, who knows, man? I don't think about this stuff that often. To be honest.
Me either.
I really don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you've got any pressing questions, chat, I think we might fuck off. How about that? What's on the plan for this week? Not building a PC, doing PhD, unfun.
Yeah, pretty boring. You know, the weird thing is I play more games when I don't do YouTube because there's only so much PhD you can do. I'm like, I'm fucking done. And because I'm not making YouTube videos, then I just end up playing games. So I'm hoping to find some time to play some Back 4 Blood. Maybe now. Maybe right fucking now.
Don't do it.
It's only 10 o'clock here.
I know it's not. I hate this time of year. Just like I like daylight savings and all. Like whenever someone whinges about daylight savings, I'm like, you just don't understand how awesome it is to be on the beach at sunset at 8:30 at night. But like, that's cool. But it fucks the podcast up pretty bad because I feel like we might as well be like East Coast US and West Coast US. You know, like there's that much difference now. It's fucking Like I messaged you at my 9 a.m. and it's your 6 o'clock in the morning and you're only awake already because you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. You messaged just when I woke up at 6 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I always forget. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not nuts.
So-
it's just not my kind of game.
Yeah, so I'm going to start organising it right now. Yes, Felicia, Adrian, I'm going to chat with Danny, see what we got planned for the rest of the day, and hopefully I'll squeeze in some Back for Bloods. And I probably need to look at all the parts I've got and maybe start thinking of how I'm going to rearrange my room, and maybe I need to order some things to
I need a feng
work
shui
out.
specialist.
Yeah.
You know what I do whenever I need like shit to rethink that? I just ask Rach because she's heaps better at that shit than me. So maybe you just need to ask Danny.
Maybe, yeah.
So like, babe, can you help me? I've backed myself into a corner. I've now got so much garbage in this room. I fucking don't know what to do. Help me. We need to get rid of half of it.
I wish was filthy rich and I could just pay someone like Etz and be like, here's a PC, here's a cat, just get him here and just go set this room up. I'll be back in a couple of days and, come back to a makeover, a streaming room makeover.
Why is there not a TV show that does that? Like we've had like the gaming room Pimp My Ride, right? Like where is that? Why can't we? Someone needs to do that show.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, everybody's story will be the same. It'll be like, oh, I've been struggling I've been struggling to be a streamer for so long.
Yeah.
I'm fucking still using me PlayStation webcam. I've got no viewers, and like fucking Pimp My Ride will come in and be like,
Exhibit will come in
go.
and be like, it's a fucking DSLR. Pinch their shirt and fuck off. Here's a fucking Stream Deck and a fucking Go XLR. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm making this promise. If I ever get anywhere close to the top of Twitch ever, we're going to make that a series. I'm going to travel to people's houses, pimp people's streams.
I'm coming with you. I just want to pinch their shirt. That's it. I'll just come out of nowhere and be like, who's this guy? Fuck.
Yo, dog, I put a Sony A6040 in your toilet so you can have spicy channel point redemptions.
You imagine the over the top shit you could do. It'd be I think Eds is going to have to be our showrunner. He's just proven himself right there.
Yeah, no, Eds is literally like the mechanics. So like we're the dumbasses that actually don't know how to pimp the ride, but just have like stupid ideas.
Yeah, we're the ones that come in and just be like, you know what? We know what this dude really needs. He needs a fucking mechanical bull so that when anyone subscribes, he's got to like fucking hang on and try and play games. That's what this dude needs. Because you know what? Once he said that he liked a cowboy, so fuck this guy. That's what he needs. Just
every time he subscribes.
Every time someone subscribes, just fucking hang on for grim death. And if it's a sub train, it just gets more and more aggressive. Until he'll never sit again for like $30.
Fucking hell.
See?
Guys,
it's genius.
It's a good idea.
Pimp my stream.
Fuck. That's my sole goal now is to get to that's my sole goal to get money to enact this genius idea.
You know what else would be a good one? Like I know that I'm leaning heavily into chairs, right? But there's not one that like stream can adjust its height. Right? So like and then just like, oh, fuck. Or something. Just boom. Fuck. Or they're trapped. They're trapped like on a chair. They're off the ground. Fucking
like a platform, some sort of box.
There's a lot of yeah. I think there's a lot of scope for this to be equally as non-progressive for humanity as Pimp My Ride, but very funny.
I like it.
All right, and on that note, we've just reminded ourselves how funny we are. We're going to fucking go and raid someone. I've already got a crutch cam. I've actually changed that. I haven't had a fucking opportunity to use it yet because a bloody stupid MMOs sucked me in. All right, we're going to go and raid.
I got some suggestions I can tell you.
I know a good boy.
Oh, you got some?
I got one.
You got one? Okay.
Yeah, I know a guy. I know a big job artist. All right.
Big job.
You get that on big jobs. All right, we'll see you next week. Try not to have a midweek fucking Bungie financial crisis until next week, okay?
Oh, you couldn't help yourself, could you? You couldn't fucking help yourself.
A fucking sting in the tail. How good.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.